I was 15 when my entire world flipped upside down. One lie. That's all it took. One carefully constructed, venomous lie from my stepmom turned my dad against me in ways I never imagined. I remember every detail of that day. My backpack was still on the floor, my shoes muddy from school. I'd just come back from a long day, expecting dinner and maybe a little peace after classes. But instead, I walked into a hurricane. My stepmom, Amanda, was sitting on the couch crying. Big, loud sobs that didn't match the dry corners of her eyes. My dad was pacing, red-faced, fists clenched. The air felt electric. Something was wrong. Very wrong. What's going on? I asked, confused, still holding my math book. My dad turned to me like I was the devil incarnate. How could you do this? He shouted. Do what? I asked, startled. I had no idea what he was talking about. That's when Amanda started talking. She said I tried to touch her. That I came into her room at night. She told her school counselor. Her voice was weak, trembling, but it had that fake tone, the kind that sounds like acting to people who are paying attention. My heart dropped into my stomach. What? I gasped. I never said anything like that. What are you talking about? But Dad wouldn't hear it. He shook his head, furious. The school called me. They said you told them Amanda was being inappropriate around you. That she came into your room in the middle of the night and he couldn't even finish the sentence. My world spun. I felt dizzy. No. I never said that. I swear. Someone is lying to you. Why would I ever say that about her? She's the one who never liked me. She's always making things up about me. I cried out, begging him to believe me. But it was like his ears were shut and his heart was gone. Amanda stood behind him, fake sniffling, and I saw the tiniest smirk curl at the corner of her lips when he wasn't looking. That's when I knew. She had done this on purpose. And my dad, he didn't even hesitate. He told me to pack my things. I begged. I screamed. I cried. I tried to reason with him. I even asked if I could take a lie detector test. He didn't care. If you're going to accuse people of disgusting things, you don't belong in this house, he shouted. Just like that, I was out. My biological mom had passed away when I was 8. My grandparents were gone too. I had no one. I ended up staying with a friend from school, her family taking me in temporarily while I scrambled to figure out my life. I spent the rest of my teenage years couch surfing, working part-time jobs, and trying to finish high school. The betrayal haunted me. Not just the lie, but the way my father believed it without question. I remember lying awake at night, wondering what I did to deserve that kind of abandonment. I wasn't perfect, but I loved him. I'd always tried to be a good daughter. He didn't just throw me out, he erased me. Years passed. I worked hard. Graduated. Got a scholarship. Hustled in college. Took freelance jobs, odd gigs, anything to pay the bills. No help. No dad. No stepmom. Just me. And I made it. Eventually, I landed a job at a marketing firm. Worked my way up. By the time I was 27, I had saved enough to put a down payment on a modest but beautiful little house. It was mine. Every inch of it. Every tile, every wall, every beam, I'd earned it. Alone, I'd finally found peace. A place where no one could throw me out. No one could accuse me falsely. I finally felt grounded in life. Until the phone rang one day. I hadn't spoken to my dad in over 12 years. I recognized the number instantly, though. My hands went cold as I answered it. Hello? There was a long pause. Then his voice, older, slower, but still unmistakable. It's me, he said. Your father. I didn't say anything. My heart pounded. He cleared his throat. I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from. But I need to talk to you. I swallowed hard. After everything, he had the nerve to call? Why? I asked coldly. He sighed. Can we meet? Just for coffee. Please. Against my better judgment, curiosity got the best of me. So we met. He looked smaller than I remembered. Tired. We sat in silence at a coffee shop for several minutes before he finally spoke. I made a mistake, he said. I raised an eyebrow. Just one? He winced. I shouldn't have believed Amanda. I found out she lied. She admitted it, years later. But by then, I didn't know how to face you. I figured you hated me. I stared at him, stunned. She admitted it? And you did nothing? Didn't try to find me? Apologize? He looked down. I was ashamed. I didn't know how to make it right. So why now? I asked. Why are you here, suddenly? He hesitated. That's when I knew this wasn't about guilt or redemption. He wanted something. Your sister, he began, referring to Amanda's daughter, Katie, whom they had a few years after I was kicked out. She's getting married. She and her fiancé are struggling financially, and we thought maybe you could help, with your house. Maybe let them live there for a while. You don't have a family yet. You're single. Maybe you could stay somewhere else temporarily. I laughed. Loudly. Bitterly. People stared. You threw me out for a lie. Let me suffer for years. Cut me out of your life. And now that your precious daughter needs a place, you want my house? He tried to calm me down. Please, she's your sister, she's not my sister, I snapped. I don't owe her anything. I don't owe you anything. You made your choice 12 years ago. Now live with it. He looked shocked. Like he didn't expect that level of resistance. You've become so cold, he said quietly. You made me this way, I replied. I stood up. Don't ever contact me again. And I meant it. But little did I know, this was just the beginning. My dad and stepmom weren't about to walk away quietly. They had plans. And soon, they would start trying to take what I had built, by force, manipulation, and even legal threats. But they forgot one thing, I was no longer the naive teenager they had broken. I was stronger now. And I wasn't going down without a fight. A week passed after I refused to give them my house. I thought that would be the end of it. But clearly, my father and Amanda didn't know how to take no for an answer. I started getting strange messages. First, it was Katie, the so-called sister I'd never bonded with, messaging me on social media. Hey. Dad said you might let us borrow your house for a while? I'd love to see it, I hear it's super cute. I can bring cupcakes and stuff, huh? I didn't reply. Then came Amanda herself. Look, I know we had our differences in the past. But family forgives. Katie's wedding is falling apart. They need stability. Don't let pride ruin everything. The audacity was infuriating. She nearly destroyed me as a teen, and now she was playing the family card like it meant something. When I blocked Amanda and Katie, my father showed up. At my house. Uninvited. I was coming home from work when I saw him on my porch, holding a small bag of groceries like he had some right to be there. What are you doing here? I asked sharply. I just want to talk, he said. You've made your point, but Katie's life is falling apart. She got laid off. Her fiancé is in debt. Please, just meet her. Just talk to her. Why? So she can charm me into handing over the house? I scoffed. I'm not doing this. You need to leave. He looked at the place, eyes filled with envy and regret. You've done well for yourself. I'm proud of you, even if I don't deserve to be. You're right. You don't. I walked past him and unlocked my door. Don't ever come here again. As I stepped inside, he tried to stop the door with his hand. If you won't help out of love, then think of it this way, we still have legal rights. I froze. Excuse me? The money in your college fund? That was part of the inheritance your mother left behind. Technically, some of that house belongs to the estate. To us. He was bluffing. I knew it. But for a moment, fear crept in. What if he really tried to come for it legally? I slammed the door in his face. That night, I dug up every legal document I owned. The house was in my name. Fully. The college fund had been transferred to my account long before I turned 18. No legal connection to him remained. But that didn't stop them. A week later, I got a letter. Not from them, this time from a lawyer. A firm I'd never heard of. The letter claimed my father was seeking a family contribution under state law for shared inheritance misuse. He was claiming I unfairly benefited from money meant for the entire family and demanded restitution, or the house. I couldn't believe it. He was actually trying to sue me. I hired a lawyer. One of the best I could afford. She reviewed the documents and reassured me. This is a bluff, she said. He doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. But they might still try to cause you problems. We'll respond formally and shut this down. The formal response was issued within 2 days. But that didn't stop the harassment. Katie began showing up near my house. Once she even followed me into a grocery store and tried to make a scene. Why are you being so selfish? She whined loud enough for people to stare. You've got this whole house to yourself and we're struggling. My wedding is off because of you. My wedding was ruined the day Amanda lied to my father and destroyed my childhood. I snapped back. I owe you nothing. She stormed off, but the drama only intensified. My father started spreading lies, online, to family members, to old mutual contacts, that I had stolen the money. That I'd been an ungrateful child who cut her family out for no reason. They twisted the story. Amanda claimed she'd confessed years ago and tried to reconcile, but I refused to forgive. People I hadn't spoken to in a decade started messaging me. Some were supportive, others judgmental. The worst was when my father's cousin, who I barely remembered, called me and said, "Don't you think you're being dramatic? Amanda made a mistake. People change." I hung up. These people didn't know the trauma I carried. The nights I'd slept in basements. The times I skipped meals to afford textbooks. The anxiety attacks. The loneliness. All because of that mistake. Then came the final straw. I came home from work one day and noticed the side gate to my backyard was open. I never left it open. My stomach dropped. I walked around the house and saw something chilling, a moving truck. Parked a few houses away. And Katie and her fiancé standing in my driveway with Amanda, trying to unlock the door. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted. Katie looked startled but didn't stop. "Dad said you'd come around. We figured we'd just get a head start. You're going to let us stay, right?" I called the police. Amanda tried to stop me, saying, "You don't have to ruin things with cops. We're family." When the officers arrived, I showed them proof of ownership. The others tried to say it was a family misunderstanding. But I wasn't playing nice anymore. I filed a trespassing report and got a temporary restraining order against all 3 of them. My lawyer helped fast-track the paperwork. Katie's dream wedding fell apart soon after. She posted online about how her evil sister ruined her life. People started calling me heartless. But I didn't care. I had my peace again. Until my father pulled one last card. I was sitting in my living room 2 weeks later when I got an email. From a non-profit law clinic. The subject line, "Request for mediation regarding family property." My dad was trying to drag me into mediation. No court could force me, but they were pushing me toward public shame and pressure. The email ended with, "We hope you'll join us in finding a compassionate, family-centered solution." I replied with one sentence, "There is no family here. Please remove me from all further communications." Then I blocked them all. Changed my locks. upgraded my home security. And for the first time since I was 15, I realized something. I didn't just survive. I won. They tried to ruin me with lies. But now, everything I had was mine. My success. My peace. My boundaries. And no one would ever take that from me again. Months passed. After the restraining order, the mediation rejection, and the countless boundaries I put up, my father, Amanda, and Katie finally went quiet. Or so I thought. I focused on my life, working, upgrading my home, making it a place of healing. I even started therapy again, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to stay whole. But trauma has a way of lingering in the shadows. And just when I thought I'd moved past it all, I received an invitation in the mail. Not an email, not a text, an actual, printed card with gold trim. It was Katie's wedding invitation. My jaw clenched the second I read the names, hers and her fiancé's, with Amanda and my father listed as hosts. The kicker? The venue address. It was just 6 blocks from my house. And worse, under RSVP instructions, there was a handwritten note, "We'd love to take some wedding pictures in front of your beautiful home. Just like old times. Please be open to it. Let's heal, Katie." Old times? Heal? I was stunned. At first, I laughed. Then I got angry. Was this some kind of twisted joke? Or worse, another attempt to provoke me? I didn't respond. I tossed the invite in the trash. But the day of the wedding, curiosity got the better of me. I didn't leave my house. I stayed inside, blinds drawn, camera system live. Around 4 p.m., a white limo pulled up near my driveway. Out stepped Amanda in a champagne dress. Behind her, Katie, also in white, stood with a photographer. I felt my heart rate spike. The audacity. They didn't knock or ring the bell. They just posed, on the edge of my lawn, near my porch. The photographer kept snapping. I watched through the security camera, hands trembling with rage. I could have called the police. But instead, I hit record. 15 minutes later, they were gone. I downloaded the footage, watermarked it, and sent it straight to my lawyer. "Enough is enough," I wrote. "We need to end this." She agreed. We filed for a permanent restraining order, this time with all documentation included: trespassing, harassment, the legal threats, and now unauthorized use of property for personal gain. The judge granted it. I wasn't being petty, I was protecting what I had built. Still, part of me felt something deeper than anger. Sadness. Not because I missed them, but because they had reduced family to something so manipulative, so transactional, that it had lost all meaning. And they weren't done. A few weeks later, Katie's new husband, yes, the same man she tried to move into my house, emailed me. "Hi," he wrote. "Katie is really struggling. She hoped the wedding would bring closure. We want to start a family soon, and it'd mean the world if the cousins could meet one day. Maybe we could set up a dinner?" That's when it hit me. They weren't just after my house or money. They were trying to reinsert themselves into my life like the past didn't exist. Like I was some kind of reset button for their broken plans. I didn't reply. Instead, I wrote something for myself. A letter I'll never send. It said, "Dear Dad, you threw me out when I was a kid because of a lie. You never questioned it. Never gave me a chance. I lived in shadows for years. Worked, cried, scraped by, and you were fine pretending I never existed. Now that I've made a life for myself, you want back in. You want comfort, stability, access. But this house isn't just a building. It's every night I spent alone. Every rejection. Every ounce of independence I fought for. And I will never, never give that to you, Katie, or Amanda. Not because I'm cruel, but because I finally learned what love isn't. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't discard. And love sure as hell doesn't knock only when it needs something. Goodbye." Writing that felt like a weight lifted. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt power, freedom, and life went on. I installed a tall wooden fence, planted sunflowers, my mom's favorite, in the front yard. And every morning, I sit on the porch with a cup of coffee, listening to the birds, watching the sky shift from gray to gold. Peace. But just a few weeks ago, something strange happened. I received a message on LinkedIn from a woman I didn't recognize. Her name was Claire. The message read, "I don't know if you remember me. I used to be your babysitter when you were really little. I knew your mom. She loved you so much. I've followed your journey from afar, and I just wanted to say, I'm proud of you. Your mother would be too." I stared at that message for a long time. It came from someone with no stake in the chaos, no hidden agenda. Just love. And in that moment, I realized something even more important than all the boundaries, legal wins, and closed doors. I didn't just survive my father's betrayal. I reclaimed the part of me he tried to erase. The part that remembers love. The part that knows worth. The part that finally feels whole.